The first speaker in this session will be Imardjoko of Indonesia. He is serving as a faculty member in nuclear engineering and environmental science at Universitas Gadjah Mada in Indonesia. In 1995 to 2002, he served as chairman of the nuclear engineering department at that university and also director of the Center for Energy Studies. In 2011, he was appointed by the central government to be the CEO of the Indonesian nuclear company. This year, he was appointed as a member of the Science and Technology Committee of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization in Vienna, Austria. He will speak to us on resources of thorium toward alternative power plant production in Indonesia, a concept of implementation.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the organizers here who invited me here. I think it's a very wonderful time that we have so far, and also we think that thorium is very important as an alternative of resources for nuclear, and so what I would like to present here is how we approach and finally we think that thorium is important for Indonesia. In the Indonesian Nuclear Industry Company, or INUKI, this is a state-owned enterprise, used to be called PT Batam Technology, but since last year the name was changed into PT INUKI. We started in producing radioisotopes for medical purposes, but starting this year, we're going into the energy sector. Once we doing the assessment for using nuclear as an alternative, it's actually dated back like 30 years when we tried to propose the nuclear power plant in Indonesia, but it's been very, very difficult. A lot of opponents, a lot of anti-nuclear trying to stop the idea of using nuclear power plant as an alternative for power generation. Sure, we have oil, but now we become net importer of oil. We have coal, but probably around 40 years from now, we are running out of our coal, good quality coal. We have gas, but it's not going to be long either. And we are in the verge of energy crisis now. The ratio of electrification in Indonesia is about 75%. But government wants, this current government wants that this year should be, this administration should increase the ratio of electrification to 90% or even 100%. That translates into additional new power, 35,000 megawatts needed on that, and also even more in the upcoming years. And the major fuel source comes from coal. However, as I said that coal will be running out in 40 years, so we have to import coal. We already import oil now, 600,000 barrels oil per day, even though we produce like 800,000, but we need an additional 600,000 barrels per day. Coal, if it's gone in 40 years, then what happened with our new power plants is now being built, 35,000 megawatts, which is mostly coal. So the government make decision it'll be in a white paper that will be published this year, end of this year, that out of 35,000 megawatts, 5,000 should come from nuclear. So, but rejection by the anti-nuclear is very strong. So this is the public perceptions toward nuclear. Unsafe technology, 3 Mile Island accident, 79, Chernobyl, 86, and Fukushima, 2011. Foreign dependency is high. These are the reasons that they don't like nuclear. Enriched uranium must be imported. So even though we have uranium, but we cannot enrich it unless we send it overseas or we buy from overseas. Expensive, highest capital cost among other power plants. Unethical, nuclear waste must be deposited for over 10,000 years. So nuclear power plant will operate 60 years, but problem with the waste for 10,000 years or more. And nuclear is, they think that they cannot differentiate between nuclear power plant and nuclear weapons. So it's difficult to convince people of Indonesia as well as the government of using nuclear. And when we have done some assessment on this, how we should go to change this perception. Nuclear must be cheap, must be cheaper than oil, or than coal, must be safe and clean and ethical to make sustainable and reliable sources of energy. This is one of the designs of the passive compact molten salt reactor that group in Indonesia, it's called the Thorium Working Group, has been doing for the last 10 years at the university, and we think that this is one of very interesting design to be deployed. And a lot of master's and PhD has been produced from this design. And so we think that thorium-based nuclear power plant is the answer. Indonesia has thorium and monazite. We produce tin, and then there is a monazite, and then inside the monazite there is a thorium. And we have done some calculation with our colleagues from overseas that it can generate electricity with cheaper than coal. Use of proven technology is actually molten salt has been running for 5 years in Oak Ridge in the experimental molten salt reactor, and that's one of the technology that might be able to be used. And foreign dependency is minimal because of thorium doesn't need to be enriched just to purify it, but we still need uranium. But uranium, that means dependency is minimal because we don't need a lot of uranium. And no proliferation issue, and waste is manageable. Using these highlights or these pointers here, we get very easy public acceptance. People in the anti now gather and asking nuclear power using thorium-based power. The government, in the central government, also thinks that this is the best approach for Indonesia. So even though we've been trying for 30 years using uranium, but using the thorium, we just started this year and we gained very high public opinion, positive opinion, and wants that this type of nuclear power plant to be implemented. This comes from the website that I got from the NASA and the US DOE, that after the waste, after the thorium converted to uranium-233, then we can extract also the moly-99, as we have done with the uranium-235 so far, and low-enriched uranium. But we have a lot of problem with that because of the waste of the 235. So a lot of economic values of this waste compared to the use of uranium-235. Even plutonium-238 is used for NASA to fuel the spacecraft mission, in which they need plutonium-238 right now. But I'm also interested in this concept because besides producing electricity in cheaper way, the waste can also be used for medical purposes, to make a moly-99, also to make some supermagnetic and neodymium, etc. So this is our pre-FS, one of the pre-FS that we have done, one of the results that we have done in our pre-FS, that we are doing now technology assessment. We are looking the best technology or the better technology or probable technology for thorium-based nuclear power plant. That's the PLTT here. It's our term to say thorium. Thorium power plant is PLTT. So this comparison with other what they have done in foreign country, and we are now in the stage of finishing up the technology assessment. And finally, we doing some feasibility studies. They will probably done in end of 2016. And we verify the design. We have the site. It's already studied actually, but we try to review that in 2017, if that site is suitable for this type of reactor. And Babaten here is regulatory. We are going to submit a proposal on that and other licenses by 2019, and then permit license is granted. We have been talking with the Babaten, the regulatory, about this, and hopefully that if we can start on maybe a prototype for construction, permit on the prototype, that will be excellent. But I don't know if this is too optimistic or not. I would like to have some comments from you. But I think we have gained a public acceptance in this the use of thorium as an alternative for nuclear power production. And as I speak now, it's actually government is discussing back home. So I'm kind of curious about how the outcomes of how do we implement this technology. Now, the action that we've done, besides the one I showed you, is the working group has been established. This give suggestion to the governments, and 4 companies, 3 are giant companies. The other one is INUKI, a small company, it's not big yet. But the other 3 is Pertamina, it's an oil company, the largest oil company in Indonesia, and PLN, electricity generating company, also all in the group of state-owned enterprise, and then the tin company, which can regulate the price of tin all over the world. We are forming a consortium to achieve this goal, to build the first thorium-based reactor power, or PLTT, in Indonesia. And as I speak, I said, the government endorsement is now being sought, and hopefully we expect by the end of this year, government will announce that to go ahead on this. But unfortunately, going into uranium-based power plant is very, very difficult in Indonesia. I think that's all I'd like to say about my presentation. Thank you very much.
Are there any questions?
Thanks for the presentation. In the last slide, you have said that you will have the PLTT. What will be the kind of fuel there? What is the power? What is the specification you are doing?
Okay.
The second is, which agency will be responsible for operation and safety of the reactor?
We are still whether we're going to have the same route as as in India, using heavy water reactor, or we're going to molten salt reactor. So we're still assessing that technology right now. So we're completing that probably by the 2016, the technology assessment. So who operates the reactor? Of course, after the INUKI will do the O&M, operation and maintenance, after we make decision which one, and we don't know yet at this stage. Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Yes.
Why Indonesian public so positive to utilizing thorium?
Because of, first, that we have thorium. We have done exploration, we have thorium, so dependency on uranium is minimum, and thorium doesn't need to be enriched, it needs to be purified. Secondly, it's based on our studies, based on, we can see it on the website and anything, it's a simple technology, is safe in terms of molten salt reactor or any other type. Third is the waste. Maximum probably, the highest amount maximum that you need to store is only 500 years compared to 10,000 years. So, and also these waste has still economic values. So we get easy public acceptance on that. That's
Is there one more question? In appreciation of your presentation, the organizing committee would like to give you a memento.